So welcome to the review of the Moto Guzzi Stelvio, Moto Guzzi's new adventure bike. It's a 1000cc V-twin and it's very versatile. It's got different modes for riding. It's got a very fun engine. I'm currently in road mode here. We've got the twisties of Malibu Canyon and some bumps and twists and turns, so come on board and I'll show you what's fun about this motorcycle. Now, what I like about it most is it just feels so planted. The more I ride it, the more confidence it gives you. It's got definitely a heavy block engine, but the weight's down low. It doesn't feel nervous in any way. It doesn't feel heavy. Oh, look at that dirt in the middle of the road there. I did over 1,000 miles on this bike in one day, and you definitely can't do that on many motorcycles. It's got a very comfortable riding position, a big seat, wide handlebars, and just a general comfortable upright riding position. And then you've got this electronic windscreen as well, which just at a click of your thumb or finger you can regulate the windscreen, and when that's on full, sends the breeze right over your head and fatigue to a minimum. Now, these roads here in Malibu, the road's always moving, so there's always bumps, and especially in the middle of the corners, which is the worst for a motorcyclist, bumps in corners. But this bike, it's not nervous, it handles them well, it doesn't do anything untoward, it just rolls over the bumps. And like I said, it loves corners, feels really planted. Stopping power, we've got Brembo brakes, and I love the feel that comes back through the lever. Also, rear brake feels good. That power below 5,000 is just really manageable. And then around 5,000, 5,500, 6,000, the bike just really takes off. Gives a real burst of power, and that you can just send that then straight through to the red line. Get nice burble come back through the exhaust as well, sometimes on the overrun when I shut the throttle running through a corner. So some nice sounds come back through the engine and exhaust. And the V-twin engine is just playful. As you can feel there, it just has a surge of power, and then below that, just really usable power band. Now, with the modes, you click through the modes here, just underneath the start button with my thumb. I can just, beneath the red button there is the black mode button. Scroll through that, and in the top of the display here, you can see I'm in road mode, and then you can click that for touring mode, and that just has a different engine management setting, different fueling, sometimes different ABS settings. In off-road mode, you've got it disables the rear ABS. We'll do that a little bit later, but right now I just switched to touring mode, and that's just a little softer. It's actually a little wet through here in the shadows, and then out into the sunshine, and it's bone dry. You've always got to be careful here in Malibu as well with the twists and turns, because there's loads of rock slides and debris non-stop falling down. And as you can see here in the shadows, totally different riding conditions. Always good to keep you on your toes. But the twists and turns are what Malibu is most famous for, and being close, of course, to the city of Los Angeles and all of these corners on your doorstep. No better place to be, really. Great for testing motorcycles. So this is probably a good time to just hit that rain mode and feel that softness to the power. Look at that as well, there's just loads of grit and gravel. If you were to hit that with your front tyre, and especially if you were touching the brake, it'd be a disaster. So yeah, in rain mode, you've just got a nice mellow delivery of power, and your traction control setting and ABS settings are on maximum. Right, so I've got off-road mode. We'll hit that next when we do a bit of off-roading, but for now we'll back to sport mode, and this is where it's the most aggressive. Power band from low down. You can really feel that power kick in, and at low down RPM it's just more aggressive on the first touch of the throttle as well. So just overall it's just a sportier mode. Now tyre wise, this bike comes with a Michelin Anarchy adventure tyre, and I've got to say I'm a big fan. It's great on the road and it's good on the off-road, and for an adventure bike that's all you can ask for, isn't it? You can get more road-based tyres and you can get more off-road based tyres, but this is definitely a good base for a bit of both. Okay, I just thought we'd get a closer look at the TFT display. It's a 5-inch TFT display here, very clear. I can see the big stuff, no problem when I glance down, but the smaller stuff around the edges is definitely more difficult to see. In the top centre, 12 o'clock, you've got the mode, off-road mode. I can just click to sport mode, road mode, touring mode, rain mode, off-road mode, and circle through like that. To select a mode, you just literally have to leave it on the mode that you want and wait a few seconds, or just shut the throttle. Automatically just connects to that mode. On the left hand side, we've also got another menu. I'm on the electronic windscreen right now. I can scroll through here. It gives me some fuel information, average fuel and miles, heated hand grips, and then scrolls back through as well the menu back to the electronic windscreen. Top left, I've got time, and then I've also got outside temperature and a little sign there with the heated hand grips. Then I've got my modes, like I said before. In the top right hand corner I have the remaining fuel. Then when it comes to off-road mode, when you select that, I'm just going to do that now. We'll scroll through, go to off-road. You will see then also that disables the ABS rear. It gives you that information at the bottom there. And that's so in off-road mode you can maneuver the bike and have more control. So scrolling back to sport mode, that's the most aggressive when it comes to how it feels getting on the throttle, and then also how it feels just kind of pulling through the revs. Also, you've got on the left handlebar, you've got the ability to go into cruise control. Now that only works when you're above a certain miles per hour, but that also works with your left hand. And just scrolling through there, you can activate the cruise control and then select the miles per hour that you want. Right, that's the twisters, that's the modes. Let's get on the highway and do a bit of cruising. Okay, here we have the freeway. Now, a bike like this, you're probably going to do a bit of everything on it, aren't you? Especially if you're just clicking by those miles. And that's what's nice about having a motorcycle with creature comforts like electronic windscreen, heated hand grips, a comfortable seat, and cruise control. So cruise control, it's this top button here. I've just got it flashing. All I need to do is just move it to the left and set my mode or turn it off. So I'm just going to set cruise control at 75. I can regulate that by coming back down. So 75 I've set it at now. and at that point I can just let go of the handlebars and she's cruising at 75 miles an hour. So really nice to just kind of relax your hands, and then you can disable that immediately just by either tapping the front brake or the rear brake. As soon as you touch the brakes, cruise control is disabled. Now you see the light there is starting to flash. That means that something's coming up on my left hand side. It's flashing again. Yeah, here we go. I can see a car just creeping up on me. So there you go, that light, definitely useful. All right, I've got the electronic windscreen going down and coming up. It's at maximum right now, so it's just sending that wind right over my head, and I'm just in a really nice, comfortable riding position. So there you go, cruise control's easy, riding ergonomics are just effortless, and now let's just get around town and see how this thing feels in a bit more traffic. See what it's like splitting lanes and maneuvering this bike in an everyday scenario. Okay, streets of Los Angeles, and it's legal for a motorcycle to go through the center lane through the cars. Even though this is a pretty big bike, it handles this pretty well. Luckily these car wing mirrors, most of them are below my handlebars, and yeah, it maneuvers its way through traffic pretty well. And that's really the beauty of riding a motorcycle in Los Angeles, is just being able to get through all of this traffic. But at the same time, modern cars these days, and also the distractions of mobile phones, definitely, thank you very much, make people probably pay less attention than ever. Ooh, timed that nicely with a green light. So as you can see there, gets through traffic, nice and smooth power delivery, handles the street and everyday kind of scenarios really well. Okay, so we're in neutral now, just waiting here at the lights. The bike doesn't really vibrate that much at all, even though you can see some vibrations through the bars here. But when I put it in first gear, you'll feel that kind of jolt forward. Kind of reminds me of the V-twins of the Harley Davidsons. When you put those in gear, there's also like a clunk forward. I think that's a combination of gearbox, clutch, and the V-twin engine characteristic as well. But going through the rest of the box, you don't get that same jump or notchiness. It's just from neutral, and then when you select first gear, we're in neutral, pull in the clutch, jumps forward. Doesn't do it at all selecting neutral again, but as I pull in the clutch, select first gear, it's got a jump. Now, one way that I've been able to kind of like help that is to just give the RPM, the bike, just a little bit of RPM, and it just seems to help it. So a little RPM, clutch in, and a bit less of a jump, I think. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it was a little less of a jump with a little RPM, because in idle you really feel it. Let's get away from these cars now and head into off-road mode. Just selected off-road mode. Rear ABS is now disabled, which means I can just jump on the rear brake and it's going to lock up. That's super useful for off-road riding because it really just helps you maneuver the motorcycle. ABS is still on the front. We've just got like a really light fire road here, which for a big adventure bike most of the time is more than enough. Just got a few bumps, just absorb some of that just by standing up. When you stand up, the bike's really maneuverable between your legs, as you can see here. I really enjoy the bike standing up actually. I feels really comfortable riding position. These big upright handlebars make it easy, comfortable grippy pegs, and like I've said before, the The gas tank's quite narrow at the bottom, at the base, so that's super helpful when riding off-road, that the bike is not too wide. Now, even though this is just a light fire road, this sort of stuff's super easy. There are a few tracks around. There's just one there to my right that some of the 4x4 cars and stuff have definitely made over the years here on this little dirt patch. So I've done them on big adventure bikes like the Pan America, the Multistrada, so I've got a good idea of how big adventure bikes feel to do some of this stuff, and you know, this is just feels as good as any of them out there. I mean, if you're going to do any serious off-road riding, then you're going to be getting something smaller, lighter, because off-road riding is all about the weight. If you can take as much weight off, you can really just kind of, instead of hitting every bump, you're able to kind of skip over things. But as a big adventure bike, this is pretty solid. Feels good. That weight from this V-twin engine is down low, and that really helps also off-road. You want that weight to be low, you don't want it to be up high, because it's just more nervous and difficult to maneuver. So there's just some nice mellow kind of uphill downhill bits here, so let's just see how this feels. Yeah, super mellow. There's a steep uphill here. Actually, let's see if I can get up here. That was a feeble attempt, wasn't it? Okay, so I'm definitely doing a bit of off-roading now. Oh, it's always a nice feeling just looking down on a city, isn't it, from afar. Not being a part of it, just being up here away from it all. I always feel so good. Which is why we ride adventure motorcycles, isn't it? To get away from it all. Right, there's definitely a section down here I can put this through its paces a little bit. I've come down here, like I said, on more recently the Pan America, and I was surprised how well that did. So this feels very similar. Oh, there it is. Oh, let me turn around. There we go. Yeah, so really nice control. This clutch feels good. It's nice slow speeds. And then this hill is pretty steep actually. I don't know if it looks it from this onboard. Oh, it looks like it's pretty soft as well. Oh, so tricky. Right now I am... Ooh. There we go, handled that pretty well, don't you think? So I was there just locking up the rear as I was coming down that, and then just being nice and gentle with the front brake. So yeah, definitely you can do some technical stuff with this bike. I don't know where this goes. I've never been on this one before. It's pretty dry and dusty right now. Oh. Yeah, dry and dusty, too dry and dusty I think. Oi! Oh yeah, super soft. I didn't realise it was that soft. But that's what big adventure bikes really is, their downfall is on, you know, stuff that just gets too soft. And with soft dirt or sand or anything like that, or even mud, that's where the weight comes in and you struggle. Anyway, as you can see here, it's really soft, dusty terrain, and I got stuck. Anyway, at least we can then find our limits. And also this tyre is also the type of tyre, if it was a bit more aggressive, you definitely get some more purchase and a bit more grip. Oh yeah, one thing to notice also is the front tyre size. This is a 19. You can get obviously bigger front wheels. Motocross bikes and some off-road bikes come with 21. That rolls the bumps also a little easier. This 19 feels solid, actually. It feels good. The benefit of the 19 is then its versatility from on-road to off-road. A 21 is really an off-road based tyre and wheel size. A 19 does a bit of both. So there you have it, the Moto Guzzi Stelvio adventure bike. We've taken it just about in every scenario, I think. Twisties, freeway, in town, and some light off-road. And as you can see, it's a good fun adventure bike that feels planted, handles the corners, agile through traffic, cruises on the freeway, and you can also take some small off-road bits and get adventurous. But I think its biggest attribute for me is its comfort, its long distance riding capabilities, and just that really kind of easy to ride and playful engine. Overall, good job Moto Guzzi. Nice to see the Stelvio back new and improved. And so if you've not done already, check out the adventure that we did on this bike in the Oregon forest, where I took this bike all over the place, or my other stand-up review, which goes into a few more stats about the bike. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Over and out. Okay, here's how the panniers fit on and off. Just take your ignition key and flip the seat up. Once you've got the seat up, there we go. Really, you've just got these locating pins that fit in here and holds the panniers in place. Not too sure I really like the thought of that. Anyway, pull up the handle, push this back, and the panniers just pop off. These are the two brackets that hold everything in place, and then you've got a locator. So to get them in, you just put the brackets in the holes provided, slide the locator and push everything forward, make sure it's aligned, and then pop your seat on to hold everything in place. Yeah, seen stronger designs than that for sure. Look at all these brand new cars. How many motorcycles could you fit on there? And how many could you buy? Look at that, for the price of those few. Oh my god, you could probably fit hundreds of motorcycles on there. Yeah, I'd do that. Swap those cars for motorcycles any day. Then the windscreen, I'm just going to activate that. It seems to have got stuck. Or is that maximum already? Oh yeah, there you go. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. Cut that out, Elijah.